hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Okay, this story, it's not usually in alignment with some of the current events that I talk about. Usually I talk about crime because I used to be a criminal prosecutor, so those type of stories interest me. And I also talk a lot about mental health topics, but I had to come on here and talk about this topic because this topic had my blood absolutely boiling. Like, how dare an organization that is supposed to facilitate our financial transactions intermeddle in our constitutional right to free speech? This is absolutely appalling, and I am disgusted with PayPal, and I'm to the point where I am planning to close out my association or dealings with PayPal. So let's get into this disgusting. I'm just so disgusted by PayPal. How dare they? Like, how dare a financial institution try to tell you that they're going to police your every move, and if they find you on social media saying something that they define to be misinformation, even if in your opinion it's not, say it's just you're voicing your opinion about, for example, maybe a political belief you stand by. Maybe you're against, I don't know, abortion or something like that. Maybe that's your stance. And if PayPal doesn't agree with you and they think you're spreading misinformation, they can go into your bank account and they can pull out $2,500 from your bank account. How does that even connect? What is the relationship between PayPal spying on your communications on other social media outlets so that they can take your hard earned money? Some people barely even make $2,500. And so this is so disgusting. And when they got caught red handed, they now are trying to backpedal because people were closing out their PayPal accounts left and right, and their stock plummeted in the billions of dollars. And now they're all of a sudden saying, oh, never mind, we're not going to do it now. It was all a mistake. No, there's no way that was a mistake. An attorney that was in that office had to have took the time to draft up that information, and it goes through different levels of review upon review and meetings before they send out the new user agreement. So for them to now try to act as though it was an error, that's not the truth. It's hogwash. Someone deliberately, the legal team within PayPal did draft that information up, but when they were caught red-handed, now they're trying to act as though they're innocent and their hands are clean. And I want to know what you guys think about that. That's disgusting. That's just like Amazon saying, we're going to pull money from your account if we find that you're on Instagram voicing your political views and we don't agree with your views. It's just like, oh my God. So let's get into this. I'm so irritated. My blood is still boiling from this disgust. But PayPal tells users it will fine them $2,500 for misinformation. And then all of a sudden they want to backtrack immediately. That is disgusting. Have you guys heard about this? So basically, people are thinking that the timing of it when they issued this new user agreement has some type of correlation with the elections that are basically upcoming. And so they're trying to um, control people's free speech during the political campaigning and everything, and they think that they can now intermeddle with people's ability to express themselves in social media platforms that have nothing to do with them. How does, I mean, guys, help me, please let me know what you guys think about this. How can PayPal, who's only supposed to be this objective, neutral party that just helps you facilitate your expenses, like when you're going to pay for something, how can that business go and then now spy on you in your Instagram or your Facebook or whatever your dealings, and or your YouTube or whatever you do, and they don't like what you say, and they're like, okay, I'm going to find this person $2,500, and that's per transaction that they think. It's up to how they define misinformation also, which can be subjective, and they can basically say anything that you say is misinformation. That means you would be in the millions of dollars in fines and fees and overdrafts because they might find every little thing that you say to be misinformation. Maybe you said that you don't like Starbucks anymore because you don't like how they treat their customers. Well, if PayPal thinks that's misinformation, they will fine you $2,500. Oh my gosh. So next time you're clicking through one of those impossibly long, and this is the thing is, the lesson to this is when you are issued a user agreement for any app or any Any business, that anything that online that you're using, anything, when you're given a contract, make sure you look at the terms closely, because the problem is we don't. They're long, several pages long, sometimes 10, 20 pages long. And so a lot of us, we're all guilty of this. We don't take the time to read those user agreements. For example, you'll get something from Netflix saying, hey, we updated our user policy. And what do? We just skim through that. Or some people don't even read it. They just say agree and move on, right? Well, the lesson of this, the takeaway is you need to take time to look closer into these terms, because I guarantee you, none of us knew that this was a new term in the user agreement. The only reason why we found out is because somebody who was smart took the time to read it and it was publicized. Maybe somebody out there, Elon Musk's team or whatever, read it and then they publicized it. Oh God, I can't believe this. This is making my blood boil right now. A new policy in PayPal's fine print triggered a storm of outrage over apparent plans to impose, starting November 3rd of this year, a hefty fine of $2,500 anytime one of its 429 million users and merchants expressed what the corporate defined as misinformation. And that is so broad and overreaching, first and foremost, because they're not even telling you specifically. First of all, a court would strike this down. This contract in and of itself would have led to a long flurry of lawsuits. The First of all, the contract is not even enforceable because misinformation is overbroad. It's all inclusive. It doesn't define really what they mean by misinformation. So a lot of people would have been suing the heck out of PayPal, and PayPal would have gone bankrupt because of this terminology in the contract. So whoever was the team of lawyers that drafted this information, they should all be fired because they were going to cause PayPal to basically go bankrupt and be closed permanently. Because first of all, this is unconscionable. And because it's unconscionable to a lay person, a court would have struck this language down first and foremost. This would have opened up a full Pandora box of lawsuits, and lawsuits that significantly that would have been more likely than not to have they would win and get significant recovery for this. And another thing, the unconstitutional aspect of it, trying to dictate and control people's free speech. Again, that would be an area where, under the Constitution, the Supreme Court would have struck down this language, and PayPal would have been in some big hot water. I don't know how they let their lawyers even draft this into their language without even knowing all of the ramifications that would have led to PayPal completely losing its business in its entirety. When this happens, you guys, their stocks plummeted in the billions of dollars. People left and right were closing their PayPal accounts, and they still are, because just the whole notion that PayPal would have the audacity to try to dictate people's freedom of speech, and they don't even tell you in what realm. So they're going to step out of the realm and the jurisdiction of their PayPal, and they're going to go into your personal life and spy on your every move. That is sick. It's like, how dare you, PayPal? How dare you? But PayPal quickly apologized over the weekend now for what is called a confusion. That's a lie, guys. They're trying to gaslight you. This was not a confusion. There is no way, I'm telling you, there's no way, in my opinion, that someone in that office would just let this random user agreement leak. No, it went through layers upon layers of legal reviews before that user agreement was released. They are just acting as though it's confusion now because they got huge flack for it. And a lot of people were enraged, and people were pulling out of their stocks. People were pulling out their accounts. They were closing accounts. People are still to this right now pulling and closing accounts right now as we speak, because people have lost faith and confidence in PayPal. And even though they have apologized, this is not going to heal this situation. Their stocks has plummeted down to, I think, $80. It was like $200 and something last year per share, I think it was, and now it's like 80 something dollars now. But it's going to keep plummeting because people are terrified. They think that they don't believe, they don't even trust PayPal at this point. Just the fact that they released it has caused severe damage to the PayPal brand. But they're going to lie, in my opinion. I don't trust the heck they're saying. I'm closing mine down too. But they're like, oh, for what it called confusion, claiming it was all just an error, but not before a deluge of criticism from a number of high profile individuals, including its own former president, David Marcus. David Marcus actually is the president of PayPal, and he had something to say. Let me see if I can find it. Where is his thing at? Hopefully I can find what he said. There is here it is. Here's David Marcus's comment, and he worked for PayPal. He said, "It's hard for me to openly criticize a company I used to love and gave so much to. But PayPal's new AUP, which is their user agreement, goes against everything I believe in. A private company now gets to decide to take your hard-earned money. Like, how dare they? This is still angering me. Your hard-earned money, if you say something they disagree with, that's pure insanity. Do you guys see what they're doing? I have not heard of any financial institution taking this leap, but but PayPal has demonstrated for all other financial institutions out there, or apps or facilitators out there who try to even do this in the future, what the consequences will be. Because if they were to hold strong on this agreement, I promise you, PayPal would have gone bankrupt, and they would have a lot of lawsuits. Number one, if they even tried to act upon this agreement in any way. Um, and and you guys, there would be no more PayPal, because majority of people in America, as strong as people stand with their free speech and being an advocate of their constitutional rights, a lot of people would have closed PayPal. Even people on the liberal side. It doesn't matter what political side people are on, people would not stand for that. It's not going to happen. But they're claiming it was a mistake. Marcus took to Twitter to say the new acceptable use policy was an insanity that forced him to come forward and criticize his previous employer, where he worked for 3 years from 2011 after former PayPal owner eBay acquired a company he founded and joined it with the payment service. PayPal's acceptable use policy goes against everything I believe in, he posted on Saturday. A private company now gets to decide to take your money if you say something they disagree with? That's insane. It's insane. Free speech advocates like Elon Musk, one of the entrepreneurs behind the founding of PayPal. Wow, guys. Elon Musk was one of the people behind the founding of PayPal. How could he let this even happen? Elon, come on. As well as prominent conservative voices such as actor Kevin Sorbo, likewise blasted the plans. Yeah, I can't believe they even had the guts to even issue the user agreement in the first place. That user agreement should have been stopped before it was even it should have been stopped in the drafting stage. When the team of attorneys that put that language in the new policy, it should have been stopped in the draft, and they should have said, no, we will not do that. But for PayPal to have agreed and accepted the drafts and issued this out as a final update to the user agreement, it's just appalling. And people are still deleting their PayPals as we talk right now on this video. The controversy comes as tensions run high over misinformation claims heading into next month, important midterm elections in the United States. Notice the timing behind this stuff, you guys. You guys need to always look at the timing and the correlation, because there's always a connection between the two. Because there's this high tense election that is occurring, the midterm elections are occurring next month in November, and now they want to execute this new user agreement November 3rd within the same time of the midterm elections. There's the correlation there. They wanted to try, they were trying to survey your free speeches as it relates to the elections. And if you said anything against whatever political views they have with PayPal, I don't know if PayPal is a more liberal or conservative company, but it looks like they're more liberal because to try to trump somebody's free speech, I think the conservatives are more for free speech. But correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because I'm not really into the political thing. But anyways, they were trying to control your ability to speak out against whatever political views you have during the election. That's disgusting. Because notice they were going to say they said that it was going to become active November 3rd during the elections. This is disgusting. So I'm just really at this point, even if they now have retracted this agreement, now it's allegedly retracted, guys. I don't trust PayPal. I personally don't. And so I'm going to be taking some steps of my own to be departing from them because I don't like that at all. That's very unconscionable in my mind. And I can't stand for that, period. Oh, my blood is boiling right now, guys. So sorry if I'm flustered, but I'm just not really, I'm just disgusted right now. Okay, anyways. So the controversy comes as tensions run high over misinformation claims heading into, because a lot of people are saying things, and so people are in uproar about misinformation that they think is misinformation. And it may or may not be misinformation. Maybe they may not agree with the person's opinion, and so they want to claim that that's misinformation. So because of that, we have certain I don't know what sides, guys, political sides that want to try to control the speech, and they want to use people's pocketbooks to do that. That's the same thing they did with the whole vaccine thing. They were saying, oh, if you don't get the vaccine, you're going to lose your job. So they were messing with people's pocketbooks for the vaccine. And now they're using PayPal and other financial institutions to try to issue these user agreements to try to dictate people's free speech. And it's absolutely disgusting. It's like, how dare you? And I think PayPal was going to open the whole Pandora's box with their user agreement. And if it worked, and the thing is, this is what they thought, guys. They thought they were going to put a wool over your head because, as everybody knows, we're all guilty of this, okay? There's these long, extensive, exhaustive contracts or user agreements that we get for all these different financial institutions that we're using, apps that we're using, anything that you're using, basically. Like if you do, like even Amazon, they all have these user agreements. And sometimes we'll just gloss over it. With me being an attorney, I'm gonna read it. But anyways, generally people gloss over it, skim it, and then they don't take the time to really look in depth into the user agreements, right? So that's what they thought. They thought they were going to put a wool over your head. You wouldn't even know, right, that language is in there. You just go about your mundane business and not even know. But for people releasing this information, right? And so you go and speak about your free speech, and now you find that you're in debt to PayPal for $200,000 because they saw that you were on Instagram posting about you voting for such and such because you don't agree with the other party and you think the other party's A, B, C, and D. You see that? That's disgusting. And they were going to start with PayPal, and if it worked with PayPal, right, then it was going to trickle down to all the other little financial institutions. Then you'd find that with your bank account. Then you find that with Cash App, whatever those other ones are, Venmo, and all those. Before you know it, all these different institutions have had these. We can get your money. That is so unconstitutional. I tell you, the court system would strike those contracts completely down. It's not even enforceable. I don't know how they thought. That's what I'm saying. What kind of attorneys did they have in their offices that would even go for this? This is like this. You can plainly see it's unenforceable. Oh, sorry guys, I'm flustered right now. Anyways, let's go back. The controversy comes as tensions run high over misinformation claims heading into next month's important midterm elections in the United States, which could see the Republicans retake control retake control over both houses of Congress. That's a huge that's a huge thing. If Republicans take control of both houses of Congress, the other side is terrified. They're terrified of what can happen. People do see what's also going to be happening if Republicans take control is number one, they are going to codify the overturning of Roe versus Wade, and they're going to prohibit abortion across the United States. So that could be another reason why people's tensions are high. But to use a financial institution to do your dirty work and try to control people's opinions is disgusting. It is disgusting. And all it's going to do is it's going to cause people to be more enraged, and it's going to push people to the other side even more, because then they're going to feel like I can't trust the other side, because if they're going to play dirty like this and use and try to threaten my financial survival because of my speech, they're not going to want to trust the other side. So all it's going to do is backfire on that side. If this is what's happening allegedly, I don't know, but I'm just seeing what this article is saying here. All it's going to do is push the other side away from trusting them. They're going to say, "Oh, I'm not going to trust that political side because they're playing dirty and they're trying to control my ability to express my opinion." So people are saying delete PayPal. Okay, you guys do whatever you want. I'm just saying this is what the article says. With many on the right fearing that big tech is targeting them due to their political views, the company quickly backtracked. Guys, they went when they realized that, because people were in an uproar. A lot of political leaders, a lot of people that are in the conservative side were telling their followers to delete PayPal. One person is, I know she's a controversial one here, Candace Owens. That lady was telling people to delete PayPal, and all her followers. She's got a lot of followers too, and those people were all in the comments saying that they're going to delete their PayPal. So PayPal is in hot water. So they realized that this is not going to fly, and then they backtracked their user agreement. But don't in any way be confused. In my opinion, I don't think it was a mistake. I think they drafted this up with the intent, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, with the intent to dictate and control people's ability to express their opinion. And the problem with their contract is it's so overbroad and very vague and ambiguous. It's like they said they can tell you and define what they think is misinformation, which arguably probably isn't misinformation. And you can disagree that you may think it's not misinformation. They don't care what your opinion is. If they find it to be misinformation in their biased perspective, they will fine you. Basically, you have no recourse of action unless you sue them, which you would likely win, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. PayPal is not fining people for misinformation. This language was never intended to be inserted in our policy. Well, then why was it in there? Where's all of your safeguards? Where's your team of attorneys that read the drafts to make sure the drafts are perfected? And who put in that language? It has to go through different teams of review. There's first review, drafting, and then there's second review, and then there's their finalization reviews. So somebody intended for that to be released. You guys just don't like the backfire that you're getting, and now you want to retract. But they're like, oh, it was never intended to be inserted. I do not trust anything that they're saying right now. You guys can tell me what you think, but I don't trust it. A spokesperson later told media outlets over the weekend, "We're sorry for the confusion this has caused." Whatever. Critics, however, didn't appear to buy PayPal's claims. It was all just an innocent error that was promptly updated with the correct information. Whatever. Dan Held, the former head of growth marketing for a crypto exchange, Kraken and Bitcoin fan, argued users should delete accounts with the payment services provider. So even though they claimed up and down, oh my God. PayPal freezing funds for thought crimes is despicable, he wrote over the weekend in response to the controversy. Right. It's like, how dare you? You shouldn't even intermeddle in somebody's private life. The only purpose for you, PayPal, is just to facilitate our financial exchanges and our and whatever we want to use with our financial revenue or whatever. But you have no right to intermeddle with our personal life. Like, how you're gonna police my thoughts and my opinions? It's just it's like it's not. He was so nice to say it's despicable. It's appalling. It's absolutely appalling and unconscionable. Like, that's all I could say. Like, well, how dare you? Many crypto fans, like held often libertarians who oppose government intervention in much of society, believe the government and its corporate supporters are steadily chipping away at basic human rights. I do too. I feel like certain political groups are steadily trying to chip away constitutional rights, like in different ways, and dictating people's free abilities. And it's really scary. It's really scary, and we just don't know what the future holds. But if these certain sides that are trying to chip away at people's political views are exposed, it can backfire. If people are really for their constitutional rights, they're going to go to the other side, and it's not going to look good for the side that's trying to truncate people's constitutional rights. They've been on high alert ever since the Treasury Department imposed sanctions on Tornado Cash, a service that conceals blockchain transactions by mixing them up with others so harder to trace. Marcus, the former PayPal president, is himself a fan of Bitcoin and later ran Meta's project to develop crypto wallet. PayPal's supposed new policy only exacerbated a common fear in the crypto community that the state will eventually seek to sideline virtual assets through the introduction of central bank digital currencies. So, oh gosh, guys, while payment services giant Visa declined by only 15% year to date, PayPal has more than halved in value, guys. That's crazy. They have significantly dropped. And shares in PayPal are expected to open 1.5% lower on Monday, underperforming the broader tech market. And that is because of their sneaky way, sneaky way to try to truncate people's constitutional right. Let's look at some of the comments here. Some of these comments are funny. This guy, okay, so basically, when PayPal said it was a mistake, this guy said, "Too late, deleted account." I thought this was fake when I saw it. How can it even be legal? They showed their true colors. The concerted effort of government and companies to control the narrative is disturbing. Even more disturbing is how half the country seems to be on board. Oh my gosh, I know that's disgusting. If anybody's on board with this, I don't know. I feel sorry for that person because it's like, it doesn't matter what side you're on. That's disgusting to take people's hard-earned money. And even if you're trying to just voice your opinion, you're not saying your opinion is factual. You're just saying this is my thoughts and my beliefs on whatever issue you're talking about. This person said this was not some draft that was discovered. Exactly. This guy's smart right here. They wrote it. They translated it to dozens of languages, likely done by dozens of folks. Exactly. When you have big businesses like this, when you draft up a contract, for example, it's going to go through many different levels of reviews by different levels of attorneys. So it had to go from first level to second level to third level, however many levels PayPal has, before it was approved and disseminated to the masses and then translated into all those different languages for other people to understand. So there is no way that that was an error. They would have saw that in those various reviews, levels of review. They wrote it, they translated it to dozens of languages, likely done by dozens of folks who said nothing, and they posted it. Then they emailed all their users, alerting them to the change, sending a link to it, and said that it goes into effect in November, the exact time frame, you guys, of when the midterm elections are. This is not coincidental, I'm telling you. With the only way to reject it was through closing the account. That's disgusting. Love the lawyers. This is technically correct. PayPal is not fining people for misinformation because it wasn't to go into effect until November. Wow. That's disgusting. Trust once broken is difficult to regain. Exactly. I agree with this guy Trip too. Even more difficult when you're servicer provider in a field with many competitors. Exactly. So if PayPal is so, oh my God, I don't understand PayPal because there's many other competitors other than PayPal. Um, we have Venmo, we have Zelle, we have Cash App. You guys name it in the chat. There's other different financial providers out there that people can use other than PayPal. So if they were to go this route, they would completely go bankrupt and there would be no more PayPal. GoFundMe does this also. What? So this guy says GoFundMe does this. Remember, they seized funds from the Canadian trucker protests. Credit card companies wanted to limit and track gun purchases. There is a totalitarian trend happening, and these companies are all members of the World Economic Forum. Oh, this guy says an error. Writing and changing company policy is not an error. It was intentional. See, people are not dumb. PayPal is trying to put a wool over people's heads, and the reality is you can't do that. People are very intelligent, and they know when you're trying to fool them. And so, by them trying to lie and claim that it's a mistake, all they are doing is further causing the public to not trust them. And so, this did not um, this did not remedy the issue. People are still having a side eye towards PayPal, and they're still taking their money out of PayPal as we speak. And right now, I don't feel good about PayPal at all, guys. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. Keith Brown said it is terrible. I know. Isn't this crazy, Keith? I'm so disgusted. They are the largest online checkout merchant system. They have lost some customers since this story broke. Exactly, Keith Brown. And they still are till today. I have seen many people today, as we're talking right now, talking about pulling out of their closing their PayPals. Like they're on the phone with PayPal, closing their accounts. Control the money, control the people. Exactly, Daniel. You got it, Daniel. That's what they're doing. They're controlling your pockets to control you. And it's sickening. It's inhumane to me because people have kids and family they have to support. This is what's coming down the pike in the future, right, Keith Brown? You guys just be ready. Be watchful. Be watchful, guys. Be reading and knowing, and make sure you read those user agreements. Even with your banks, the agreements with your banks, those contracts, everything, any financial institution, anything that you associate with, when they have a user agreement, don't skim over that anymore. Please do not. Take the time. I know it's a little time consuming. Take the time to read the fine print because you may not know what you are agreeing to. And you may be signing over something, for example, your life savings, and you may not even realize it. I think that's the takeaway from this story. Daniel says, TOS like this happens when you have misguided people running the shop. Exactly, Daniel. He says, haven't deleted my account as yet. Still waiting to see how this plays out. Right, Daniel. Right, Daniel. I'm going to be watching this closely. I just think I am planning to. I can't do it. I can't. I don't trust them now. And the fact that they're trying to put a wool over people's head, and people are very intelligent. They're gonna see through it. That's the problem I have with them. Had they came clean and just said, look, we did put that in there. We apologize for, our conduct of even trying to do this, but now we see that this is not something that our customers are in agreement with, and we are now retracting this provision. No, they didn't say that. They lied to you guys. And in my opinion, and they're making it sound like, oh, this was just a confusion. When that's not how these companies work, you guys. There's levels upon levels upon levels. They have an entire legal group there, a legal team. And it goes from a drafting stage to the next level of review, to the next level until the managers get review of that. And then it goes to their higher ups, and then it finally gets approved. And then it's, they translate it to all those other languages, and then they disseminate it out to the masses. So there had to have been layers upon layers upon layers of teams looking at the drafts of this contract, and they each level approved it, even to the point of translating each word on that in that contract. So it wasn't a mistake, and they're lying about it, and that's why people don't trust them. Even till today, they don't trust them. This guy Jim says, all just an error, right? So if it was just an error, haha, maybe their customers would each fine them $2,500 for misinformation. Exactly. Why don't we fine you, PayPal? Why don't you pay each of us, the customers, $2,500 for disseminating misinformation in your user agreement? Okay. How are you going to fine us for misinformation, but you don't want us to fine you for giving us misinformation in your user agreement? Exactly. I like Jim's mindset. And if it was just an error, as they are claiming, maybe their customers should fine them again for more misinformation. Go woke, go broke. Exactly. Speedy says these people actually think they invent a policy to rob your bank account because you say something they don't agree with. Time for all these anti-freedom execs of PayPal to resign in utter disgrace. Exactly. If they don't, PayPal will go bankrupt. There will be no PayPal. I really don't feel too good about PayPal's future because this already, even though they have retracted this agreement, people are side eyeing PayPal at this point. They're like skeptical of PayPal right now. And when someone loses trust in your business, then there's not a promising future for that the business success. So this guy David said, so did PayPal find itself $2,500 for its misinformation about a fine for misinformation? GF said, looks like the error was expecting not to get called out. I love these people's comments. They're funny. Joe said, 1099K is why it is down so much. I can no longer sell unneeded stuff without paying the taxman big time. I do not have paperwork for items purchased years ago to avoid paying the tax on 100% of any sales. Not worth fighting the IRS. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not going to keep reading these comments, guys, but you guys get the point. This is crazy. I don't know what PayPal was thinking, but I'm absolutely appalled. You guys let me know in the comments what's your view on this whole PayPal scheme going on, or whatever they were trying to do to truncate our freedom of speech. Do you plan on staying with PayPal? Do you trust PayPal after this? What's your opinion? Do you believe PayPal's statement that it was a mistake? You guys be the judge. Take care. Happy Sunday.